here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Where's my ATB crew at? Let me know in the chat. Guys, tonight we have a very, very, very special show. This has been long awaited. Obviously, we've had him on the show before, but tonight, guys, you saw the thumbnail. There's a reason why we don't put my face on the thumbnail, but anytime you see a face on the thumbnail, it's Tom Crown, guys. Tonight we have Tom Crown on the stream. Super excited to hear his thoughts on the markets tonight. Obviously we have been kind of just trading sideways. We were actually just kind of talking before we went live and just kind of talking about, since we put in the lows at 17.6, we basically just been going sideways. We get the little bit of excitement on the lower time frames. We trade it. It's fun, but it's basically just been boring sideways action. So I'm super, super excited to hear what Tom thinks, because I know it's a big debate. Is the bottom in? Is the bottom not in? And then the most controversial thing is maybe it is in or maybe it's not in. I'm glad. I'm super excited to hear what he thinks. Does he think the bottom's in? Does he think the bottom's not in? Does he think it doesn't really matter as much as I think it doesn't matter? Because if you guys know, if you watch the stream or my channel, you guys will know I'm actually not really that concerned about catching the exact bottom. It's going to be really hard to catch the exact bottom, right? So that's why I usually, obviously we do a lot of trading, but I also DCA in. I am DCAing in currently, and people are like, what if it drops lower? Well, I'll just buy more lower. I'm not going all in right now, but super excited to hear what he thinks. It's been a little while since we've talked to him, so, getting loud AF comments. Is that better? Let me know. Hopefully that's better. Let's see. Sauce and Spice. Everybody smile says, skip the bromance and get straight into the charts. Frankie recording mental vocal tracks before the stream. What? Let's see. Oh God, Dave Digital, I see you. But guys, before we bring Tom Crown on, I'm just gonna say what's up to chat real quick, because I kind of already started reading it. And then we'll bring him right on, because we do not want to waste his time. Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah. Let me know, mods, if you could let me know. Let me know if that sound is better. Sorry if I was blowing your eardrums out there in the beginning. Oh God, Dave Digital getting positive vibes to all of you lovely people. Shout out to Cryptoholic. Thank you so much. Too low. Oh my gosh. All right, right there. That should be a happy medium. That actually does look kind of hot. All right, here. Let me lower it here in vMix. Let's see. All right, let me bring it down. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Hopefully that is good. Yeah, perfect level now. Okay, I'm just gonna stick it here, and then I'll keep an eye on chat. If it's still bad, let me know. I will fix it for you guys. Yeah. Tom Crown himself says mics are picky mistresses. Yes, that is absolutely true. Shout out to Tom. Guys, you know what? Hey, shout out to A-Train too. Shout out to A-Train. I caught you in that morning stream, dude. I could not have been more perfect timing. I went into the BitBoy Crypto morning stream chat just to see what was going on. The second I opened the chat, A-Train was like, Frankie, if you see this, hi. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Super cool. But guys, without further ado, okay, I think it's good now. Up, down, left, right, circle. Was only too loud for your intro. Okay, gotcha. I also do kind of scream in my intros. So hopefully this is good.
Am I the only one not getting audio? Chat, are you getting audio? It just randomly went out. Dead sound. What happened? Mics are fickle. That's what this stream's really about. We're here to talk about mics. You're muted. I think they can only hear me.
Okay. All right. You
I
should
hear
be
you.
able to hear me. Okay, we're back. I think we're back, guys. So without further ado, guys, thank you. Oh my God, chat going insane. Guys, our special guest, Tom Crown. Tom, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. Don't take it hard. I once went 45 minutes during a live stream completely muted. Like 45 whole solid minutes. Got through the whole thing. I was like, well, I'm done. I'm gonna read the chat. And people are like, you've been muted this whole time.
No. I
Yeah.
feel that pain because sometimes my audio will go out. I'm actually dealing with a dud cable right now. Waiting for an extra long USB to come in so we could fix it. But yeah, sometimes I nudge the wire the wrong way. It goes out. And then I'm looking at the charts. As you know, you can't always look at chat 24/7. And you're going and you're going and you're like, oh no, oh no. And you scroll up in chat and you're like, oh, this is going on for a while.
Only 45 minutes. I swear to God, I don't know when it was, but it was awful. I should have acted muted. True. Well, it's good to be here, man. Thanks for having me. It's great to see the Candle Mafia out in full force on this really, really exciting Bitcoin price action day.
Of course, man. Well, thank you for coming on. Like I said in the intro, super excited to see what you're looking at. Super exciting price action. You know, Bitcoin just extremely, extremely volatile lately. But yeah, man, I guess, you know, we can just kind of start off. I think most people watching right now, at least from my community, know who you are. But yeah, I guess we could start off if you want to just kind of give us your general thoughts on the market, show a chart if you want. But yeah, I know it's, you know, people don't like to hear it. I say it all the time. But, you know, sometimes we're just, you know, everyone talks about are the lower lows coming or is the bottom in? But no one talks about like, could you either have to go up or down and you can't go sideways. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to go sideways. So I'm curious to see what you think. If you want to just let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, man. So this is some I'm like sarcastic, spicy times. It has been some of the least interesting price action, in my opinion, that I've ever seen in crypto. It is reminiscent, I'd say, of like 2000, even 2018. There's a lot of sideways. Even I guess in 2021 during the summer was pretty boring, but we do see basically volatility contract before a big move, and that doesn't really make anyone happy. No one feels good about that because there is no answer. You know, there's no how long will this last. It could be, you know, like tonight it could randomly move. It could dump or pump or whatever. But until proven otherwise, I think it's really the safer bet to just kind of expect more of this sideways. We are in Q4. Q4 started. Q3 closed basically where it started, so we didn't have a lot of price action there at all. I'm definitely expecting volatility into the end of the year. I wish I had the answers. You know, I wish I could tell you when. I wish I could tell you what direction. I did put out a video. People were talking about it in chat. Is the bottom in? And it was a little clickbaity, but it delivered value. It wasn't just clickbait. Yeah, I have some evidence, and it can definitely be called hopium. That's okay. Sometimes we need hopium. You know, every once in a while you need some,
Right.
which I'm happy to share here with you guys. And I think a reminder always is due. No one knows the answer to this, and that's the least satisfying question, or at least satisfying answer. I know that, but nobody has the answer. People will tell you they do. People say, I know it's going to go up. I know it's going to go down. No, they don't. They don't. They either get proven wrong or proven right. And when they're wrong, they just shut up about it. And when they're right, they tell everyone they knew. They didn't know.
Exactly. I say this all the time, Tom. It's refreshing to hear someone else say it. And like you said, it's not like the most attractive answer, especially that people want on YouTube. But yeah, I just love that you said that. It's the unexciting answer, but it's the truth. And if someone's telling you they decisively know, it's, oh, guys, we're 100% going up or 100% going down. Sure, that gets the crowd going. But hint, hint to the mafia and any of Tom's community in here. Nobody actually knows. They just don't want to say that it could go up or it could go down. So just know that. Didn't mean to cut you off there, but continue.
No, it's true. It's true. And like time proves them right or wrong, you know, and then like I said, they're always loud when their, you know, prediction was right. Oh, I knew it. But they really don't. Just be aware, you know, just be aware of that in general. I think is a safe practice in crypto. Is like when you see someone saying, I definitely know, you know, like absolutely this is going to happen. They're full of it. They're just full of it, or they're delusional, or they're euphoric, you know, whatever it is. You don't. You know, right now we are in some kind of unprecedented, at least in my lifetime, economic times. with Forex markets, with even just traditional markets in very weird places. But I think that's the way to put it. The UK had to start printing money essentially again because they're going to have their pension funds like default. This is not what we've seen over the last many years. It is very, that is very spicy. It's a very spicy time in that sense. There's a lot of mixing up going on, and you can look at the dollar, the Dixie, you can look at other currencies, and the volatility they've experienced this year is not normal by any measure, not normal to history. Nobody knows how this is going to play out. I will say to the crowd, this is the exact situation. This is the exact reasoning behind Bitcoin. They created Bitcoin, published like 2009 in response to the 2008, 2009 financial crisis. Now we've kicked the can down the road, 12, 13 years. Here we are at the same financial crisis. And so it's really going to come down to, in my opinion, not just Bitcoin, not just crypto, but like everything. Are they going to try to kick the can down the road again? Or are they going to finally pay the piper? That's how I see it, is you can't keep the global economy running on made up money. And that's, the consequences. We're seeing that now. Bitcoin was created for this reason. Doesn't guarantee that it's going to function the way that, Satoshi and the cypherpunks imagined. There is no promise there. But I feel good about where I am. My portfolio is mostly crypto. I don't know if the bottom's in. I have some things that are evidence. Maybe it is. There's no guarantee, but if everything hits the fan, crypto probably going to go with it, but I believe that it'll bounce sooner. It'll bounce stronger. It'll go higher than wherever else my money's going to be. So we definitely are in a sit and wait position. Not so exciting, but yeah, I can definitely share some charts and what I'm looking at if you guys are interested.
Yeah, for sure. I know the Mafia is would love to see that. But yeah, man, I've been telling people that people, it's, for me, there, like you said, there is a lot of evidence pointing to the bottom being in. I've also made a video kind of looking at the case for the bottom being in. Of course, the internet took that as me calling the bottom. It was really just me looking at the case. What is the evidence that the bottom is in? Is there any? And like you said, there is evidence that the bottom could potentially already be in. But I always say, just like everything you just went over, we are in very, very strange times right now. Times that, just like you said, I've never seen in my lifetime either. And, these things are obviously going to affect the market. So all it takes is one little thing in the macro to happen. And then all these charts, anything that I'm seeing or you're seeing or anyone else is seeing on the charts that might look bullish, just takes one of those little macro things to happen. And those charts go out the window. But yeah, if you want to show a chart or two, that will be amazing.
Sure. Let me get this camera preview. How do I share chart? This crazy VMix. I love this program.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's so much better. It's so much better than Zoom and whatever else we always use. Okay. Let me see. Here's BLX, right? Here's the full history of Bitcoin. This is from day basically zero of trading at like a penny all the way up to 69K, now back to 20. So this is a chart that has a pretty defined angle, right? It's up and to the right. It has times where it goes back down, but it does go, for the most part, up and to the right. And this is even on a logarithmic view. If we look at it on non-logarithmic, you can't even see the history. Like Bitcoin has this habit of making everything flat behind it. It looks really ugly this way. That's why I use logarithmic. I'm not going back to that.
It's much prettier.
So I'll start with the video I put out today. Is, evidence that the bottom is in. So again, this does not, and I say in the video, this does not guarantee anything. There's no such thing. But this is a piece of evidence that we can use. Why would we ignore it? So I'm going to add back kind of my lines here. Know why there's one at 1 cent. I don't even remember putting that there. So what we have is 4 horizontal lines. Okay. These 4 horizontal lines are placed very specifically. But before I tell you kind of why they're placed there, I want to point something out, which is before each of these lines, we saw a bear market bottom. So over here, January 15th, over here, December 2018, and March 2020 wasn't really a bear market bottom, but again, a capitulation or at least a bottom of a macro sort. I think that's safe to say.
Mm-hmm.
We have, again, and this is kind of the hopium part, June 2022, we hit 17.5 thousand. We have not revisited 17.5 thousand. We haven't even really gotten that close, which is interesting. And again, we have this white line. So you might think they're arbitrary, but there is reasoning behind this madness. If we look at just the MACD, and so I don't recommend just looking at the MACD to do your technical analysis, but there's something here that I think is valuable. And that is if we look back at the months, we see that we have these macro lows. And at these macro lows, the monthly MACD has been in the past, and we have 1, 2, 3 examples. So it's not a huge sample size, but we have our MACD is increasing, or the selling momentum is accelerating into these lows. We hit the bottom, at least in these examples. And then at least a month later, we closed a waning selling momentum candle. So that's right here with these dark reds. Once we closed one of these dark red monthly candles, the bottom was in. Bitcoin never went back to these prices. So that would be at $163, 2015, 3,100 in 2018, 30, it's really 39. It went lower than that, 39, whatever, 3,500, 2020. And so now we have the same setup here at 17,500. And the reason maybe not a lot of people have noticed this yet is because September, let me scroll up. September just closed 5 days ago, and kind of under the radar, it closed a waning momentum candle on the monthly. So this, in my opinion, is pretty cool. It certainly isn't like sell your house and go all in.
Right.
This cycle has been, in my opinion, very, very different from the previous cycles. So to say, hey, Tom, isn't it possible that, we see momentum on the sell side pick up again? Yeah, it is. We just haven't ever seen that in the past. That line of thinking kind of got me in some not bad situations, but made some of my predictions pretty off in this bull market in 2021. And so that could definitely happen again. This has kind of been like a cycle of firsts. We've seen a lot of new stuff, like Bitcoin trading, significantly under like the 200 weekly moving average. It never really happened. And it's happening now. So we could see a deviation again. And I think that there's plenty of logic there to say maybe we shouldn't be relying on the past as much as we have. But if we look at it in this way, price has bottomed out. And then we see on the monthly time frame that selling momentum wane off. And we do, as of October, have that confirmed. So is the bottom in? Nobody knows. Is the bottom in if we look at it through the lens of the previous lows? I think there's an argument to say yes.
Tom, that is extremely interesting. So I love what you just went over. For the main reason is I haven't seen anybody talk about that yet. When you talk about this, the evidence of the potential bottom being in, everybody's kind of talking about the same thing. People are talking about, I've shown a bunch of stuff on Market Cypher, as well as things with the 200-week moving average and stuff like that. A lot of people are looking at the 200-week moving average. I've never seen somebody bring that up. But that's why I love having people on this channel. And I love when, there is a lot of stuff pointing. I listed off, I had at least over 4 reasons or 4 pieces of evidence in my video that was this is why the bottom could be in. And, every time I saw someone else talk about something, it was always something I already knew. The pi cycle bottom indicator is marking the bottom. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that. But anytime someone brings something new, like you just did, I'm just like, oh God, end the MACD on the monthly, or end this, on-chain chart, or, this Glassnode chart also pointing to the bottom. I was actually very, very in the camp of the lows we have not hit the lows yet. I thought I was very, very in the camp that we were going to make lower lows. And then I did that video, and I kind of learned through the video, because I was just doing the research for the video, and I'm just like, every time I would find another piece of evidence, I'd be like, okay, wow, that's 3 pieces of evidence that are pretty solidly looking like the bottom is in. And then we see stuff like that, the monthly MACD. I have never actually looked at that. I've never seen anyone else kind of talking about that. So just another thing on the list.
If we go up.
What say that again?
If we go up, you'll hear them talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, exactly. It's like you said. When they're wrong, just kind of shove it under the rug. But when they're right, tweet it, make a TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've been calling this since day one, since before it even happened, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've been telling you guys this for months.
Yeah, right.
But
Oh man.
that's super, super interesting. Again, so my original bottom prediction, which was obviously speculative, and this was based off a lot of history, which obviously you can only take, you can only take that into consideration so much. But my original bottom prediction was, mid to low 20s with a possible panic wick to around 18K. And that's another reason why I do think we could go lower, because if we don't go lower, I would have been pretty close to calling the bottom, and I just don't know if I'm that lucky. So I do think maybe we could potentially come lower. But again, it comes down to the macro. And I know you cover all the Fed meetings and stuff. If you guys have not watched a live stream of Tom during the Fed meetings, I promise you're missing out.
I
Super
get wild.
entertaining, educational. And I remember, I don't know if it was the last one you did, but one of the ones that I saw you do, you were doing TA on the body language of the people speaking. And I thought that was super interesting. You were like, his hand's shaking. If we go back to the last meeting, his hand's not shaking. What does this mean? I kind of could hold weight.
I try to make them interesting, I've noticed a lot of channels started like covering them, and then like, that's cool. I like the awareness. It's like, they're just something that is so boring, and to bring any kind of interest or any kind of entertainment to them, I think is a huge value, because right now, realistically, Chirpow is probably the most powerful man on the planet. Like, he could collapse markets in a tweet. Like, in a tweet, he could just say, we're raising rates 8% tomorrow. And like, markets would just, trillions of dollars would just disappear from markets.
Yep.
It's wild. I can add this. So we did a little hopium. I can maybe appease the doomium or the bears with my same reasoning. So I want to show this too, because I actually didn't show this in that video, not purposely. I just kind of like noticed this after,
right,
like this afternoon. So, all right, if we look back at this chart, right, and we assume, okay, we looked at the monthly MACD and this happens, and it's true 100% of the time in the past that has happened. Something I noticed, I actually was doing a TikTok live for the first time because I just wanted to see how it worked. And I was talking to one viewer or something, I don't know. And I noticed this, and I think it's actually really worth looking at. So back in January 2019, we had the same thing happen, but we only ran back to 14K, right? And then we came into March, came back down to like 3. So this is a possibility. So assuming it does follow and, momentum continues to win in the monthly, we could still see, and this is kind of the doomium, is we could still see an event like this. And I then went forward and put it onto a chart of what that might look like. And so let me put it down on the day, and I have it hidden so we can have more suspense when I do it. No, this isn't it. That's the wrong chart, but I'm pretty sure I have suspense. It hidden. Extra suspense. Where did it go? Oh no. I was so prepared. What happened? Oh wow. What did happen?
It does always seem when something disappears like that for me, it is always when I'm live.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, of course. So I found it. So basically I just took the bar pattern and I just replaced it. So this doesn't, this isn't like guaranteed to happen either, but this is definitely a possibility that would agree with the evidence that I said for a bottom. If we take really this similar price action, which is like a 300% rally that ends up coming virtually back to where it started, it might look something like this. And the minute I placed this, I had shivers because in my mind, this is the most painful possible outcome in my imagination that could happen. And that would be like a move that is pretty sudden and strong all the way up to like 45.5 just to bleed off and fall back slightly above like this 17K area. And then you get a capitulation and you run back up and you break your high. I think maybe that'll appease the bears here. I don't know. But like that is absolutely on the table. It lines up because we had the momentum roll over in 2019 as well. So it doesn't guarantee a new all-time high. In fact, doesn't guarantee anything, but it could just be the relief rally, which I think if you are a rational person, you can accept that there has been virtually no relief in the selling. And to see some kind of dead cat bounce, some kind of relief rally really does fit in line with not just Bitcoin, but markets in general. Everyone has been bearish now. Everyone. And I can tell because I'm a perma bull and I've gotten to the point where I haven't really published anything bullish in weeks, except for this video today, because I can feel the sentiment so against it. And that is like actually an indicator to me. Once I feel like I'm supposed to shut up because I'm too bullish, like I've noticed it's like a bottoming signal. And
that's a very good point.
It's hard for me to see it just go down from here. Maybe I'm wrong. And I've said that before, I'll call myself out. I've said that before. It's hard to see this just going down without a bounce.
Yeah. I completely agree, Tom. And, I would want to check on the chart, but I'm almost 100% positive we do have a, let me just pull it real quick. I'm not going to pull it up because I think I will lose audio. But I do believe we have, that 45K area too. We do have, closer to the 50K area, but we do have a macro golden pocket right there, which makes complete sense. And you were saying it gives you the shivers because, obviously that is a very, very painful ride. Get that rip up, come all the way back down. Wait, it's over. What's happening? And then it just rips right back up. I would agree.
How many people buy back in? How many people buy back in at like 45K? Like, oh, we're going. And then it just goes right back down to 17. And then they sell it at, 17, 18 again. And they're like, Bitcoin's a scam. And then it rockets back up like April 2020 style. Like, God, it'd be so painful. Hey, you know what though? If that happens, at least we'll have like a few months of being all gung ho about it going up.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Absolutely. And I think what you just said before was a really, really good point as well. Kind of speaking to when you feel like you say something bullish and people are coming for you, that's like a bottom signal. I would totally agree. And another thing that kind of is a bottom signal for me in the same kind of style, just kind of looking at the psychology, is everybody calling for the lower lows. I tell people on my stream all the time, like, I get PTSD from 100K, hearing people say, we're going lower. I'm like, let's not be so decisive on that. Like, let's say it's possible, but if we're just gonna, if I tell this to my community all the time, if you're waiting to DCA into the market for those lower lows and we get a pump, it could be a pump like we had in the one you just showed. We get that pump up to 45K. You're going to wind up buying at like 40, 42. Oh no, I guess this was the bottom. And then you're going to get wrecked.
It's almost too
perfect. I'm kind of DCAing in right now. And, actually someone in my office said this. They said, they're scaling in on their DCA. So they're starting off slow. And then as time goes on, they are, raising up their percentage of money or percentage of capital they're putting in. So, and then, maybe if they get a big dump, they drop, a bigger amount of money in, which is kind of my strategy as well, which leads me to a question. Are you DCAing in now, if you don't mind sharing? And if you are, kind of what is your strategy?
Yeah, so I have to respond to Anonymous asked if I'd rather fight one bear-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized bears, and I have to weigh in on that. And the answer is 100 chicken-sized bears, hands down.
Oh my God.
One bear-sized chicken is a nightmare. That is nightmare fuel. I'll take my odds with the 100 tiny bears.
He asked that question to all of our guests, so I'm super happy you saw it and chose out of all the chats to answer that one. It's amazing.
It grabbed my eye.
So I would agree, by the way.
Yeah, right. I mean,
bear-sized chicken is horrifying.
If you say a bear-sized chicken, you don't understand how deadly birds are. I think is really. Have you ever even seen a chicken? Probably not, because they're little dicks.
Like little dinosaurs.
So am I DCAing? And this is a weird question because what I'm doing isn't always going to be what's right for other people. I think everyone's in a different position. Everyone has a different portfolio. I've spent years DCAing into Bitcoin at much lower prices. I did not sell, and this is my folly of looking at the past cycles and saying, hey, we should be going higher than 69K. This doesn't make sense. I didn't get the sells off that I wanted. But if I was just starting crypto or just starting into Bitcoin this year, or even if I had started closer, to the top in like 2021, I would be absolutely DCing. Past me would be doing that now. In fact, that's like pretty much what happened to me when I started. Is I DCA'd all the way up to 20K and then saw it fall back down, and I saw it fall back down to like 3K, and I said, all right, I'm just going to keep DCAing until prices above my cost average. And once that happened, I stopped. Had I gotten lots of sells off, in the last 2 years, I probably would be buying back some of that position, not all of it, but I'd say 25%, maybe as high as 50, depending on how confident I was feeling. But I'm not actually deploying capital. That is because I didn't really get rid of the amount, I didn't get enough sells off, or the amount that I wanted to have that capital to do so. And like, I do have USD and I did take profits, but the profits I have, I want to basically sit on that dollars right now. So I am not. And I know it's weird to preach to someone else, maybe that they should, but I'm not preaching that you should. I'm preaching it's really down to like what your position is. What are you comfortable with your position? Like for me, I think I have enough Bitcoin. Like I'm not going to say how much Bitcoin I have.
I thought we were getting
say how much Bitcoin they have. Don't ever tell anyone that. Don't dox yourself in that sense. Like, it might be a small amount now, but 10 years from now, that might put a target on your back.
Yeah.
Just a little OG OPSEC advice. I have enough Bitcoin that not everyone in the world can have that much. And that actually doesn't equal out to a lot. I think it's like 0.0027 or something is how much everyone could have if you divided it. Okay. But I feel pretty confident that I don't, especially with kind of these uncertain times, I don't think I need to go any deeper at this moment. If Bitcoin, if the bottom isn't in and we see 13.8 or something, I don't even think that would tempt me, to be honest. I had many years to buy lower. 13.8 is still kind of high in my mind. If we went down to like 10, if we were to maybe mirror the last bear market, cycle high to cycle low retracement, that puts about like 10.5. That's when I might start getting interested there. Like that would start to get my attention. And really below 10 is where I would start to deploy capital, even if I didn't want to. That's about it. I think, though, a good takeaway from that is a lot of people out there are probably thinking it's going to go lower, but like, who's going to buy it? Guys, there's people like me. I'm not the only one. And the people that started when I did, I was broke. I had no money. I grew up really poor. Bitcoin transformed our wealth. And so we are looking at these prices that you're probably not looking at. They may never come, right? And that's kind of historically the way it's gone. Is the more OG you get in Bitcoin, the less Bitcoin ever allows you to buy it again. It will, I have numbers in my head. They're numbers that would scare other people. But there are other people out there who are eyeing the same spots I am. And I don't think I'm that lucky.
Right. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I think it's really important that you said, it's dependent on each individual person, right? Like for someone who was buying Bitcoin super, super low in previous cycles, that, I want to say, at this point, probably a majority of people in crypto haven't had the opportunity to see those prices. You're going to have a completely different DCA plan than someone who just got in, a different DCA plan than someone like me. I think you were in crypto earlier than I was. So even your plan might be even a little bit different than mine is. And yeah, it's so interesting. So it's actually very similar to something that TJ was saying to me at the office today. We do an after show after Ben's morning stream on Twitch. It's a Twitch exclusive stream, and we kind of hang out there. If anybody wants to check it out, BitBoy Crypto on Twitch. But we were kind of talking, and someone was saying, we were talking about DCAing, and someone was like, what was the last thing you DCA'd into? He said whatever, I think he said Solana or something, and someone said no Cardano. And he said something very similar to what you just said. He said, you have to understand, I was buying Cardano at 3 cents, I think he said. So he's like, 40 cents is not a bad place to buy in. But for me, he goes, it's got to come lower than that for me. He's like,
Don't speak to me about the old magic
for now. So yeah, very similar.
That's funny. Dude, it's just so fun. Like, even though this cycle is so different, it's still like the same things happen again. It's just on a loop, I swear. This whole space is just on this strange loop that kind of distorts a little bit. Recently, I got invited to these NFT groups, and my viewers know I never really got into NFTs. I've looked at them, thought about them. I have a hard time separating myself from my coins. But it's funny, in these groups, they're going through what like Bitcoin maximalists went through in like 2017. It's like these conversations of like, how do we police our own community? These people they're just releasing scams. And I'm sitting there just like laughing, like this is the exact conversation we had years ago about like just all these new coins appearing. And like, it's just the same things over and over again. It just changes enough to like trick you into thinking it's different. And honestly, that is almost even a piece in my mind of why I think maybe the bottom is in, and maybe like this whole cycle isn't even over, because everyone is convinced it is now. 100%. Like there's no one bullish. Like I'm a perma bull, and I'm sitting here like I don't really know if the bomb's in. Could go lower. Like even I'm skeptical. And if Bitcoin were to make like a big move into the end of this year, if it were to break 69,000, which I honestly don't think is the likely scenario, which kind of counterintuitively makes me think maybe it is going to happen.
Right.
Because I'd be wrong again. Right.
Yeah.
But if that were to happen and it were to move up to like, I don't know, 100 and something K, all of a sudden this cycle like fits perfectly with history and everything is just repeated again. It's weird. It's weird. It has this way of like convincing you it's different, and then it isn't.
I also think it's kind of funny that Bitcoin topped out at 69K. I just kind of think that's like, what other price is Bitcoin going to troll us with? But
yeah, right. Wait, wasn't it even like in January? Wasn't it like 42, like 420, 100? Where it stopped?
The numbers are very weird. And then I think in 2017 it was 19,666 or something like that. There's a lot of really trolly numbers that Bitcoin has messed around with, which in Bitcoin fashion doesn't surprise me. But that also works into the whole, was the first top the actual top, or was the second top the actual top, which I know is, a hot topic. People kind of bounce around. I've looked into it, and there are things that point to that first top being the top. Google Analytics were much, much higher. All the what's the word I'm looking for? All the psychological euphoria was there, the Coinbase IPO. But like you said, if we wind up going higher, right, come down, get that big past 69K, it would kind of line up with history. And unfortunately, back to what we were saying at the beginning of the stream, is we don't know, and nobody knows. People will tell you they know, but no one really knows. So, that's why we always try to prepare on the, for the either direction, have a plan in either direction, and try to benefit in either way.
Chat says 420K next top. I agree.
Probably.
I agree. It makes total sense. Like it makes total sense. Like it's right before 500,000. Everyone's like, it's going to 1 million.
Yep.
That's like, man, that's just like what I feel like this whole cycle missed. It missed like the gains were so front loaded. It was all like very late 2020 and early 2021. And it didn't get like, I remember so vividly in 2017, Bitcoin breaking 10K for the first time. And it was wild. Like it broke 10K. People have been saying like for years, it can't ever be 10,000. It's the Bitcoin. That was back like, people's perception has changed of Bitcoin totally since then. Back then it was like tinfoil hat kind of conspiracy people like, is this really going to work out? Who knows? And now it's just a different beast. That's not really the question anymore. Is it going to work out? It's just kind of like, how long will this take? Like people have kind of abandoned the thought of the failure of cryptocurrency. It's now kind of in everyone's mind that this is part of the future. We don't really maybe know what that future looks like or how it fits in. But I mean, I'm going to Vegas. Like this just blows my mind. I'm like flying around to go to crypto conferences, which is weird to me in general. But there's like celebrities that are going to be there, like people who aren't crypto people. Like I think Danielle Monette, she's a WWE person, or Summer Rae. I don't remember what her real name is.
Summer Rae, yeah.
Summer Rae, yeah. Like she's going to be there on a panel with me. Like
really,
I'm like, yeah. It blew my mind. I didn't know who she was, like at all. And then I was like, oh, wait, I've seen like memes with her in it because she's very identifiable. And I guess I'm like going to interview some like UFC fighter. I don't know. We had Kim Kardashian getting hit by the SEC recently. Like times have changed. And I think it's impossible to see that if you haven't experienced it kind of like day by day by day. the like slow progression of this change, and it's really hard. It's like the boiling frog theory thing. It's like, if you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it jumps out. But if you put it in kind of warm water and you turn up the heat slowly, it eventually just cooks itself because it changes so slowly.
Right.
It doesn't know that it's changing.
Interesting.
And these are huge. Oh, it's been. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say it. Maybe it's not public. I don't know. He holds the record for the fastest being knocked out in crypto, or not in crypto,
okay.
in UFC.
I actually saw. I walked past him at Bitcoin Miami 2023. If we're talking about the same person,
we are.
Okay.
They're into NFTs apparently.
I
don't know if I'm supposed to say it publicly, so
yeah,
nobody knows that. It's just wild, man. Like there didn't used to be stable coins. I think that's what really blows people's minds is they hear like, what do you mean? And it's now they're such a fundamental part of the ecosystem. I was the biggest skeptic. I was like, this is a scam. This is all going to collapse. It's like a Ponzi. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. USDT still going strong. Honestly, I think that I don't trust USDT. I wouldn't intentionally hold it over like dollars in my bank or anything. Mm-hmm. But at this point, if they had a weakness, I think it would have been exploited by now, and the house of cards would have collapsed. If the governments could shut it down, and or if they had a reason, like a criminal reason to, they didn't have what they were saying, they would have. At this point, like how many billions of dollars is it? Huge $100 trillion of trading volume. I think it's here to stay. I don't know. Maybe I just jinxed it, but yeah, this whole space is just a different beast now. And it's wild to see your baby grow up.
Yeah, right. It's all grown up now. But yeah, like when you have Kim Kardashian, getting sued over crypto scams, I mean, that's a much different picture than even 2017.
What if that was the bottom? What if Kim Kardashian marked the bottom?
I don't want to. We are a family friendly show, but it would be fitting if she did mark the bottom.
Gifted in that element.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick before we continue, I do just want to shout out a couple of super chats. We got Crypto Billy with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. One of our awesome mods here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel says, Billy gonna bottle up Frankie's energy, Tom's coolness, and both of their TA and bottle it. It's a recipe for millions. I like that. And then we also have a $5 super chat from Gypsy. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. It says, Frankie and Tom, each of you attempt to say this tongue twister and let people find out whom the true crypto linguistic is, which I couldn't even say that. So Tom, you might have me on this one. But here we go. When a doctor doctors a doctor, does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor as the doctor being doctored wants to be doctored, or does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor as he wants to doctor? I don't even know what that means.
I hate you, Adam. I hate you, Adam. I love Adam, but I hate Adam. He just loves to try to get me to say this. I've never said it. Should I say it here for the first time?
Oh, do it, guys. You heard it here first. Live.
This is pretty big. All right, I'll try it. Try it. I hate you, Adam. Love you, bud. All right. When a doctor doctors a doctor, does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor as the doctor being doctored wants to be doctored, or does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor as he wants to doctor? That's the question. I have no idea. I don't know what the question is either. It not only tongue-tied me, but totally brain mushed me. But that was pretty smooth. I've seen it. I cheated because I've seen it. So I've seen him like multiple times. He's tried to get me to say it. I'm like, I'm not saying that while I'm live. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, I love it. Shout out to Adam. But yeah, man, it's definitely changed as a space. Going back to what we were talking about, it's completely changed as a space. And going back to USDT, because I think this is important for people to kind of realize. Obviously, we had the UST scare with obviously the whole collapse of UST. I know everyone knows what I'm talking about. But we had USDT depeg from the dollar. I was checking it pretty often for a while because I did hold a bunch of USDT. I have now changed all the way over. I've changed everything over to USDC because I did get a little sketched out, but it does seem to keep going. It looks like it's still going strong. So you guys should have, okay. Yeah. sorry.
Don't trust it, right?
Right.
Don't trust it. But it's, as a tool, as an intermediary for, swapping and moving, I think it's decent. I really don't trust it. I wouldn't sit in it, but it's very liquid. That's really its value. And like people have talked about it depegging, but I mean, really, how far has it traded from the dollar in the last year? I think it's been to like 99.5 cents or something in like the last. That's really, UST was a totally different beast. UST was a nightmare. And the fact that people are trying to make other USTs now blows my mind. I don't understand. It's like you're going to rebuild the Titanic and you're going to sail it the same course, and it's going to be different this time. Buy your tickets. Like, sure, go for it.
100%. I mean, like you said, it's a great tool. Really, the only reason I hold USDT now is if I can only, if I'm limited to just needing to use USDT specifically. It's the only reason I use it. Otherwise, everything is sitting in either cash or USDC. But yeah, like you said, the algorithmic stable coins like UST are quite a nightmare. But yeah, it's interesting, and I've always was kind of skeptical of stable coins. Like I know you were just saying, like you were kind of as well. When I first got into crypto, I was like, okay, so this thing's just pegged to $1, never goes up or down. Very interesting. I was very interested in how it worked. I was very skeptical. But then I trusted them, and then the whole thing with UST happened, and I was like, I knew that was probably going to go wrong at some point in some way. But yeah, so I guess let me just we have a couple more super chats here. I don't want to let them go, and then we'll move into a couple of questions. We have a couple questions here saved for you, Tom. I know the Mafia loves when we ask questions, as Anonymous loves to ask the duck-sized, horse-sized. Last time it was a horse-sized duck, and I was like, I would never want to encounter a horse-sized duck in my life, ever.
They're all frightening.
Yeah. Oh my God, the beak. Oh God, horrifying. But D from BK, he's from Brooklyn, if anybody's wondering. I will never mess your name up again, man. Thank you for clearing it up yesterday. But D from BK says, you guys should have a trade-off for a month and see who wins. Actually, guys, we are probably going to have a trading competition start up here pretty soon on the channel. It's a bear market. It's boring. Even the sideways action. We'll try to do something, maybe do like a little trading competition where you guys can join in. And we'll try to get some people involved. And yeah, that'd be fun. And then Gypsy says, that wasn't nearly as satisfying as I thought it would be. I assume he's been trying to get you to do this for a while.
Yeah, I made it unsatisfying just for Adam.
Love it. Shout out to Gypsy, or Adam, I guess. Let's see. And then Thesis himself. Questions. Okay. Shout out to Anthony Soprano, guys. We got Tony Soprano in chat. I did not see him in the beginning. Show him some respect. But yeah, let's see. Frankie, you could say the name. You could say the same about all crypto. Could go wrong someday. Absolutely. Shout out to Femi. Yeah. I mean, listen. Life is. I love Jason when Jason Casper says this. Sometimes he'll go, never trade, guys. Never invest in crypto because life is about avoiding all risk at all costs. And you should never. He's just like, never risk anything ever. Obviously, he's joking. But yeah, anything can go wrong, guys. If you wake up in the morning, you're gonna encounter some form of risk. Shout out to Kelly Kellum in the chat. Thank you for being in here, man. I appreciate it. If you could kill one meme coin, which would it be? Shiba. I'd kill Shiba right away. Yeah. I always say this. I'm not necessarily against. I think I just hate the hype. I just, everyone thinks it's going to $1. Everyone thinks it's going to a penny. I mean, if they burned a ton of their supply, maybe that's possible. But we've done the math. It'd be very hard for it to reach a penny. But I would have to say Shiba. Tom, do you have a strong?
Probably Shiba. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I hate the unit bias involved. That's what I hate about it. I hate that people are just so confused by the decimals. The same thing going on with Lunacy. Like, look at the market cap. Just ignore how much something costs per unit. It doesn't matter. You know, like having 1 Bitcoin or 0.9 Bitcoin it makes no difference, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The difference is whatever percent difference it is. Same thing with Shiba. Look at the market cap. It's not about it being 0.0001 cents. It doesn't mean it can go to 1 cent. Like, look at the market cap. If it's going to move one decimal place up, that market cap has to 10x.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
It's that
that's my
simple.
thing too. Have you ever heard of the coinperspective.com?
I have not.
Dude, very interesting. I highly recommend you check it out. It basically allows you to pick any coin and then put a price in, and it will give you the math of what the market cap needs to be. Very easy way to find out realistic price predictions for coins. Like, I always tell people, if your friend comes up to you and tells you to buy this coin, it's going to $1,000. You can look it up and see like, oh, wow, we would need the entire world's, we need all the money in the world for it to reach that price. Kind of just gives you realistic predictions. It's pretty cool. It's called the coinperspective.com. Lucky's Thoughts
I
with
like
the
that.
super chat says, kill Luna. I bought Luna as a joke on my stream. I was telling people not, I don't recommend buying it. I was like, don't get wrecked. I'll buy it right now, and you guys can watch me get wrecked. I bought it, and then it like 4x the next day, of course. And I was like, still don't do it, guys. That was a fluke.
Oh no, it backfired.
Say that again.
It backfired.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I was just like, woke up the next day. I was like, can't wait to show how wrecked I got, and I pulled it up, and it was quick 4x. I was like, dang it. But let's go ahead and move into some questions from the viewers. Let's see. Boom. Okay. So D Petty Crypto says, can you explain how BTC is a store of value? Interesting. Also, if you don't, I was gonna say, if you don't want to answer any of these, you could totally feel free to pass.
Okay, fair. No, I can answer this. So, in general, people, and this is totally normal, I think, as humans, like we want to identify we want to anchor things, right? We want, especially when something is as abstract as cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency doesn't really have anchors to reality. There's really nothing that functions the same way outside of like cryptography in general, which I think the average person would struggle to describe cryptography. That's safe. So, yeah, exactly. Me too. So when people say Bitcoin is a store of value, what are they thinking? They're really just trying to anchor Bitcoin to something that they can relate to or is tangible to them. Is Bitcoin a store of value? That is really up to time, right? You can't just name something a store of value and that means it's a store of value. I don't think I've said this before, I don't think we have the word or the vocabulary to describe what Bitcoin really is right now because we don't know how it's going to work into the future. It's just moving into right now the environment it was created, to be resilient in. It ain't showing it yet. It doesn't mean it won't, but we haven't seen it. Is it a store of value? It's its own thing. It's something unique. And I think when people say it's a store of value, the only kind of tangible mathematical thing that you can present as evidence is to say, well, Bitcoin supply is fixed, its inflation schedule is fixed, and when it comes to literally anything else, everything in the universe other than cryptocurrency, those are not constants. There is, there is no fixed supply of anything in the world. Well, not in the world, in the universe. Bitcoin is. So it is a store of value in that sense of its fixed supply. It doesn't mean that it has to function a certain way price-wise. It doesn't guarantee anything about its future. It's a good question, though.
Yeah, I didn't expect that question. Definitely, I would agree with you. Like you just said, the fixed supply I think is a big thing that people lean on. Very similar to gold. Obviously, you could still mine gold. I don't know how much of it is left at this point, but kind of a similar thing there. Just basic supply and demand. I would go ahead and agree. And then I'm gonna save this one for last. So that one's kind of funny. Oh, here we go. This is this is a good one. Aaron Brown asks, where do you store your crypto? Yeah, I'll let you take that.
Ledger. Actually, irresponsibly over like a ton of different wallets that I loosely keep track of. But in general, the vast majority of my crypto stays on just cold wallet, does nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like to I like to dodge that question because I don't use hardware wallets as much as I should, or probably not as much as I should.
Improve.
But yeah, I definitely gotta. It's like we always have ledgers floating around the office. It's not like I don't have the opportunity. It's just I gotta use them more. But yeah, it's the safest way to store your crypto, guys. I always tell people, do as I say, not as I do. But let's see. Tony D says, "Can you give us?" Okay. Oh, this is interesting, especially in a bear market. I was gonna ask you a similar question just for myself. But Tony D asks, "Can you give us your top 5 assets you're holding?" And just as a second part of that question, are you into NFTs? But I know you already answered that. Kind of same answer as me. Not a big NFT guy.
Yeah, so I can give you my top 5, and I'm going to say these, but I want everyone to know this is like not an endorsement. I'm not saying that you should buy these. I'm not saying that this is what your portfolio should look like, because some of these are that, they're in my top 5 because they went up a lot. Like, it wasn't that I invested the most in them. They went up a lot. Crap, what was the other part of that question? So the top 5 and NFTs. Never really got into NFTs. It was the same thing. I saw, like I said earlier, about these NFT chats I'm in and these people having these conversations. To me, it was just kind of like altcoins all over again. And I probably left some money on the table, not, just scooping up early stuff as it grew, hyped up. I do own some crypto kitties from like 2017 somewhere. I don't know where they are. They're on some wallet, but yeah, it was just, to me, the same thing. It's like, this is just altcoins with pictures, with seemingly way less liquidity. So my top holdings in order: Bitcoin, number 1. My portfolio is actually, I wish it was higher, is only 65% Bitcoin right now. I'm ashamed of that. I was hoping to get that closer to like 80, 90%, but bull run rugged us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Ethereum. Ethereum was not my number 2 investment, but it outpaced my other investments and is now a very, very solid number 2 with, let's see what percent. It's about 12%.
Okay.
12% Ethereum. Number 3, my baby Litecoin, which is number 3, but should be number 2, but hasn't done anything. So it's gotten lapped by Ethereum, and I have about 5% Litecoin. And then below that is Doge. Again, Doge is number 4 in my portfolio. In my lifetime, I have spent $150 in Doge, and it's number 4 now. And I'll tell you, it's still worth a lot more than $150 that I took out 5 figures in Doge was wild last year.
Oh my God.
But that's just because it went up a ton and hasn't really like retraced. But that's only 2%. So you can see how my portfolio is very diverse. I have like 200-300 positions or coins, but those positions get smaller and smaller and smaller. Mm-hmm. It's like Doge is 2%, and I don't even know what's under Doge. Here we go. Again, none of this is an endorsement because none of this is really based on how I invested. Straight up. BNB is number 5. And guess why? That's because BNB has just been on a ripper since it started. I didn't buy much BNB, but when I was buying it, man, it was like $8 or something. Like, it just floated its way up. That's it. Like, I didn't invest a lot into it. ADA is under that, and XMR is under that. So there you go. There's like my top 7.
Nice. There you go. Ask for 5, get 7. I love it.
Yeah.
And I also love that Dogecoin, you did so well with Dogecoin, because I did say I would kill Sheeb, but I would never, ever, ever say I would kill Doge. Not in a million years.
Same.
Doge
not even because
OG
it was profitable. Exactly. It invented it, right?
Exactly.
But it's also a real chain. I complain about this all the time. It's a real chain. Like, it's its own network. Whereas SHIB is just a token on Ethereum. Like, it's someone just imagined all of the SHIB into existence and then sold it to people. Whereas Doge, it's been like, since the beginning, a fair competition to mine them, and its own network. I place a very high value in that. I call it like a fair origin story, where in reality, Bitcoin, because it was the first, is like kind of taints everything after. This is my maximalism coming out, is because Bitcoin proved that it works. So it had the most doubt in this fair origin story. Anyone could have participated, and you can argue, well, I didn't know about Bitcoin then. I didn't either in 2009. But in theory, anyone could have just connected their computer or their laptop and mined Bitcoin in the beginning. In theory, it's not realistic, but it's possible. Mm-hmm. And everything after that is not bad. But this is where my maximalism comes from, is in a way it doesn't quite have that fair origin, and because we had already established essentially that these things not only can persist through time, but they can have value. And even if it wasn't a lot of value at the time, that kind of taints that fair origin in the way of, like, it doesn't make it bad, but in the beginning for Bitcoin, no one, they didn't know this would be they didn't know this would be like a $3 trillion cryptocurrency market cap. The cypherpunks even said, there's really only 2 ways we see this going down. One is that it's a total success and it it slowly dominates everything, like dominates the financial system, or it completely collapses and it's just nothing comes of it. That is like written in the old posts. They themselves did not know this would work. That's why I always kind of like rail on when people talk about like it was the CIA or something that invented Bitcoin. It's the silliest concept of it. Like that's like I can't prove it. I can't prove it's wrong, but it just doesn't make sense. That's like the CIA, I don't know, infecting themselves with like a disease for some reason. And like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. It just seems silly. They didn't know it would work. And something about that gives it just like an extra value in my mind is everyone gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. I love saying that.
Oh. It's like that meme. You ever see that meme where it's like, people standing in line for BT, it says BTC 10K, no one's there. BTC 69K. Dude, I actually might make a video out of this. This cycle specifically, I was getting text messages from people I hadn't talked to in a year, almost at the exact top. And I want to go back and find those text messages and make a whole video about it, saying like the most accurate top signal ever. And just go through the different text messages I got, what they were like, when they came in, what the price was. Very interesting.
Same. Dude, it is like you can't ignore that now. Like absolutely the same.
Yep.
I was just getting like people out of nowhere like, "Hey, what about this Bitcoin?" It's like, "Oh god."
Yeah.
You waited a long time, buddy. I've been yelling about this forever.
Yeah. And then it's like any advice you give, if it goes up, they're always a genius. Wrong. If it goes down, it's your fault.
100%, man. 100%. I learned my first round not to never try to convince your family, never try to convince your friends, nothing. If they want to talk about crypto, you can talk to them about it. Yep. They got to come to you, but never, ever, ever try to get them to join, because that's exactly what will happen. It'll be your fault if it doesn't go up.
Yep.
And it will be their brilliance that they invested if it does. And it's just lose-lose. Yep. It's just lose-lose.
Yeah, it's totally, yeah. And I remember in 2017, right towards the top, I remember being in a pizza place. This is when I still lived in New York. At a pizza place, I'm getting rung up, and the guy behind the counter is like, "Hey, you into crypto, man?" And I was like, "Oh no."
You want some crypto on your pizza?
Yeah. We have Bitcoin pepperonis.
It's a special today. You're like, oh, okay, the top's in.
Yeah, it's Bitcoin Tuesday at the pizza place. Okay, time to sell.
We're done. We're done here. Pack it up.
Pack it up. Party's over. Lights are coming on.
Yep. Good one.
All right, we got one more question. And this is a good one. I'm actually really curious to hear your thoughts on this as well. As we were talking about, you live stream a lot of the Fed meetings. Again, guys, if you're not tuning in to Tom's streams during the Fed meetings, please, for the love of God, do it. It's amazing. But Leroy Jenkins says, what do you see the Fed doing in the next meeting? Obviously, we know you don't have a crystal ball, but if you could make some sort of a prediction on the next meeting, it's 75 basis points, 50, 100, if you had to put a ballpark out there.
Yeah, dude, that's a great question, and obviously I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. If we're gonna go on, like, I can give you my honest opinion. If we're gonna go on just what they've been doing, right, kind of the pace they've been at, the numbers they're looking at, it doesn't really seem like much has changed. There's only one mix up there, and that is new job openings was down about 1 million, which is a huge. I think 11 million was the previous new jobs for October, or what was it, August, whatever month, the most recent numbers. It was down about 1 million, and it was way under forecast. So that does impact kind of the data they're looking at, because one of the reasons that they haven't slowed down or reduced the kind of the aggressiveness of these hikes is unemployment is still too low. You can hear it in his speeches. He literally says things that, if I translate into normal human talk, is we're going to keep doing this until more people don't have jobs. That's literally what they're saying. Well, not literally. That is what they're saying in different words.
Without saying it.
Yeah, without saying. I mean, they do, but it's not a mystery. But anyway, we do have the first signs that, if there's less new jobs, we're going to have more unemployed people when you look at a big scale. That's just kind of unavoidable. But I don't really think that that's enough However, we did see something this month, and this is why I do believe that there could be a mix-up. I do believe the Fed's going to pivot at some point. I would love to say that it's this month, but that's probably a fool's bet. But there was something over the last week or two that it's not even in their mandate, but might have an effect. If you look at the UK had serious issues. Their pension funds looking to be insolvent, and they had to print money, and the UN went to the Fed directly, and I don't know what they said specifically, but I see it as essentially groveled at the Fed's feet to please slow down, please stop this. You are destroying the global economy. And it's pretty hard to argue against that. That is what's happening. And that is pretty much what the global economy needs to have happen to be allowed to even recover or adjust to what's going on. The Fed's aggressiveness is putting the entire world into a very tight spot, especially places with lots of debt, national debt in dollars. Their dollars are losing value. They have to pay back in dollars as dollars are parabolically escaping their dollars or their currency's value. It kind of puts them in a default is on the horizon, guaranteed position. So will that impact what they're going to do? I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that the Fed cares, but I think that also might be foolish. So in my honest opinion, I think we're just going to see another 75. I kind of doubt we'll see 100. They did have a closed door meeting on the 3rd, and we've seen dollar weakness since then. And that's kind of right after the whole UN pleading essentially with them to chill out. Maybe markets, especially tomorrow, if we see the dollar take a dump, I might be on the line that maybe they're getting a little more dovish. But at the moment, Frank, it looks like it just kind of hit a support. It bounced. It could go back. It could just continue the parabola again. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are all my thoughts rambled out.
Yeah. Well, I love that, man, because, we do talk about these, the Fed meetings when they happen, the interest hikes when they happen. But it's not something that we cover too often on the channel. So I love that you're able to give, a little bit more insight into that aspect of the markets. And, like you said, you're kind of talking about what they're saying with kind of not really saying it directly, which I think is the whole trick, right? They kind of just go up there and they kind of half say something, but it doesn't seem too confident, which is why I love that last time I saw you do one of those meetings is you were kind of looking at his body language and everything. And I've actually on Around the Blockchain, I forget who it was. Someone was telling me that they used to work in sales. They used to be a sales manager, and they used to do TA on their salespeople. And he actually found it to be successful. I forget the metrics he used, but he explained the whole thing to me, and he said it worked. And I told him about you. I was like, Tom Crown's out there doing TA on Jerome Powell's body language. So yeah, I'm super happy you're able to give some insight there because again, it's something that we don't really cover too much on my channel. And like you were saying before, it is having a huge effect and will have a huge effect on the market. I mean, really, the last question we had was from Chemistry Bro, one of our OGs. He's basically asking, with the economic situation, all those macro indicators that are calling for the bottom being in, do you think with the macro situation, those are kind of invalidated? And my answer to that question is they could be, which again is probably not what people want to hear. But yeah, I mean, again, if they start, if they turn the money printer back on, well, it goes one way. So it's kind of hard to say. I assume you probably have a similar opinion on that.
Yeah, so it goes back to what I was saying. Bitcoin was built for this. This is why it was designed. So it's not something that you can bet on in that sense. It's Bitcoin, if it goes to design, should at some point just disconnect with whatever's going on if we continue to see this clamping down. We might have seen some of that with the pound breaking down last week to parity. We saw Bitcoin GBP volumes break records that day. So there was some flight of capital to Bitcoin or to crypto in general. But that's going to be something impossible to time. When will it break away? When will it, because it may not at all. If all goes to plan, it's supposed to. I think that's going to be a kind of a fool's bet. What I think is much more realistic and much easier to kind of trade around will be, I can say the minute the Fed shows weakness, everything will go insane. Everything is being suppressed right now. The minute they pull that back, or the minute they say okay, we won't do a rate hike for a month. Expect huge greens everywhere. Like it will be wild. And they might just get sold back off. It might just be like a route, dead cat bounce. But the second they weaken their tone, markets will go absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I would agree. And like you said, could be straight up and then just eat all the gains up like we've seen. That last Fed meeting, that price action was insane. Ripped up. I was looking to short. It ripped up. I shorted it. It went back down, back up, and I was like, that was a wild ride. But yeah, I would totally agree. And, and the interesting thing is we saw the DXY making some pretty drastic moves recently. And the stock markets, the stock markets came down a lot, and Bitcoin was kind of just holding strong there, which is very interesting to me. I can't, me personally, in my personal opinion, if we saw the macro just go south, I would have such a hard time seeing a risk on asset like Bitcoin or crypto in general just be able to hold up somehow, unless it was actually the thing saving the day. So yeah, very, very interesting. But I basically agree. But I think that is all we. Oh, okay. This is the last question. This is kind of funny, but it is a question, so we got it. We have to respect. We have to respect the question. On My Hero asks, why is it called a dead cat bounce? Because dead cats don't bounce in real life.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense. It does make sense, like, because cats don't actually. Yeah, they don't. You're right. They fluff out, right? They can't actually die from falling after like a certain height. Like they just fluff out and it like slows them down. But the reason it's called that is, I guess, like the mindset of if anything hits the ground hard enough, it bounces. But it doesn't mean it goes all the way back up.
Right.
But like if you throw something hard enough into the ground, it bounces off the ground, and that it's like similar to like the little bounce after
just
a
little
sell off.
Wow. And then falls right down.
Yeah, cats is like the worst example though, because cats literally don't
at all.
Yeah, like anything else would. Yeah, like anything else, like dead dog bounce would make more sense.
Yeah, right.
I love dogs.
Like
I don't want to see a dead dog, but
totally.
Yeah, it's like the worst example, but whatever. Hey, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally throw anything other than a cat, and it would bounce better than a cat for sure.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I was gonna save that chicken question for the last one, but I love that you saw that because I was gonna ask that at the end. Anonymous asks that every single time. But Tom, I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate you for showing the charts and giving us a little bit of your insight into the macro, the interest rate kind of stuff, because again, that's something we don't really cover too often. So definitely appreciate you coming on, man. I'll give it to you. Take your time as long as you want. Let the people know where they could find you. Anything you got going on here coming up in the near future.
Yeah, right on. So if you're not subscribed, join me. Frank and I stream at very different times, so you'll never have to worry about that conflict. Tom Crown on YouTube. On Twitter, be careful. There's a million fake Tom Crown accounts for some reason. I'm flattered they think I'm worth botting. Tom Crown Crypto. Check the spelling. There's so many. Please don't. I won't ever DM you. You can follow me there. And I have a new project actually that just is launching. I'm not really supposed to talk about it, but it's mine, so I talk about it when I want. Crownanalysis.com. You can check it out. It's going to be a more general, broad market and business blog. We only have the article that I wrote published. There's going to be more coming soon, but check it out. Let me know. Give me feedback. Yeah, that's about it, man. It's been great being here.
Yeah, love it, man. Again, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, if you want to check Tom out, Rob, the Crypto Snob, just threw everything in the chat. So definitely go check him out. Drop him some likes. And again, we do stream at different times, so you can get a little bit of Tom sauce in the morning, watch those Fed meetings, get some good TA in the morning, and then that'll hold you over until the 5:45 stream where, hey, you never know. He might just pop up on my show. Tom, thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully we can get you on here again pretty soon.
Absolutely, man.
Take care, brother.
Let's go Canna Mafia.
All right, guys. Oh, look at that. We got VMix on the screen here. Let me go ahead and fix that. Boom. There we go. Okay, now I'm all chopped up, guys. Bear with me here. Bear with me. Trying to still get used to the studio here. Let me pull up my full screen here. Guys, how about that? Mr. Tom Crown, as always. What is going on here, guys? What is going on? Tom Crown, guys, give it up for Tom Crown. Definitely click that link in the chat and go give him a follow. Subscribe to his YouTube channel and check him out on Twitter, guys. He does a lot of amazing content. And again, he does cover a lot of stuff that we don't cover. So, similar to Debate Crypto, yin yang, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Tom Crown. Thanks again, Tom, for being here, man. We appreciate you. The Mafia loves you. This was a highly, highly anticipated show. So, but yeah, guys, I am probably going to wrap up here pretty soon, but real quick, let's just go ahead and take a look at the charts. We're probably not going to do altcoins today, but I'm going to go over Bitcoin because there are some levels I want to show you guys. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump right into the charts. Here we go, guys. All right, let's see. I always get like thrown off getting back into my normal show after the guest. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Spiritual Misfit says, awesome show today. Appreciate both of you guys' insight. Riding this pump until the full moon on Sunday. Do some research on the Shemitah. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Educate yourself on the last 100 years. Last 100 years of the world economy at Chemistry Bro. Oh, shout out to Chemistry Bro. Let's go. Miss Trump. No, Wolfman ate my coins. It's okay, bro. It's okay. Just go ahead and scrub back and then just pop back on to where we are now. It was a good show. Tom was dropping some really, really good knowledge. We appreciate Tom. Tom's one of our favorite. Tom's one of our favorite out there, man. He's got an awesome channel. He's good vibes and just an all around good dude. I've met him in person a couple times. Super, super, super cool dude. Great show, great viewers. Shout out to Tom Crown, guys. Again, go give him a subscribe. I feel like go give him a subscribe sounds wrong. Give him a follow makes sense. Give him a subscribe. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, guys. Tom, we love you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on today. Wolfman ate my coins. Tom, no, come back. Go live again. Make money, make love, bing bong. Hey, that should be our new motto. Hey, guys, make money, make love, bing bong. Anyway, all right, guys, let's just go ahead and take a real quick look at the charts before we wrap up here. I hope you guys did enjoy that interview with Tom. Hopefully we can get Tom on here often. We'll try and get him on somewhat. Lux, is Lux Algo in the chat right now? Lux Algo, searching, enhance. They might be in the chat. Not 100% sure. I think Tony said Sean from Lux Algo has some interesting or some funny stories about Tom Crown. Oh, baby, I would love to know those. All right, guys, let's go. Oh, God. All right, let's go ahead and MTC, Candle King Candle, or Candle Crown Candle. Somebody make a crown out of candles. And then every time I go live with Tom Crown, we'll wear the candle crown. Let's go. Okay, shout out to Chemistry Bro. Yeah, I'm Lux Alco. Let's go. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at the charts here because there are a few things that I want to go over. As if you guys watched the morning stream today, we've been playing the lower time frames. I've been getting into a lot more shorter term scalp positions rather than these longer swing trades that we were doing in the recent past. But guys, things have been pretty predictable as far as levels go. And let's see. Let's look at this chart here. Now, as you guys know, we have been watching. There we go. Okay. We've been watching some levels that have basically remained the same for, I feel like, months now. We've been looking at the same levels, and they've been able to lead us into amazing entries and exits in and out of trades, and they've just remained very, very important. And I kind of want to show you guys what I'm talking about here. Obviously, when we started this pump, if you guys watched the channel, we were talking about it down here, saying if we could reach up to this spider line, hang on to some support, and move our way up above this POC, this point of control, at about 19,771, we could expect a move all the way up to 20.1K, right? Or $20,100. We got that wick up, cracked it a little bit, and then got rejected, and then came up for that second test, creating a bearish divergence. And I know we've covered this a couple times on the stream, but I just want to show this to you guys because this is literally how I'm able to catch these little trades up and down. We're able to long it up and short it right down. Now, if you were able to catch this bearish divergence, could have caught a nice little move here. Nothing too crazy. Let's say, you're never going to catch the top of that wick, but let's just say you catch it there. Nice little 1.5% move with a little bit of leverage can get you a nice little scalp gain here on the 15-minute. But what I want to show you guys is we came up here, bearish divergence, money flow was coming out on the lower time frames. I'm not going to bring it up right this second just because I don't want to waste time. And we came down a little bit before coming up right to our second target of about 20,400. We wicked right above, came right back down, closed the candle below, and then continued to put bearish divergence in on the 15-minute. You could see that with the higher highs and the lower highs here. Just in general, your lower highs, and you also have your money flow coming out. Was a beautiful, beautiful little scalp short. Could have rode this one down, and we took this trade. I think, was this the trade live? I think this is one of the ones that we took live for a nice little 3% move, guys. Throw a little bit of leverage on that, and you could get a nice gain. So we come up, bear div, little scalp short. We came back up, another bear div into key resistance. We had these levels and waited for price to come into these levels. Then we found the bearish confirmations, shorted it down, came up to our next key level, found the confirmations, shorted it down, and then, guys, we came down to a very important level of support. Now, if you remember yesterday, we were talking about how it would be likely that you're Tom Crown, I'm Tom Crown. We are all Tom Crown. Hashtag BTC, be the candle, or be the crown. But yeah, with these trades here, guys, we did come down, took that nice little short, and then we were waiting yesterday saying, based off of our 4 hour starting to roll over with the VWAP here, we were expecting price to potentially come down a little bit once we printed that red dot, because not only did we have that red dot, we also had the 15-minute money flow coming out, which was kind of making us think that we could get this continued move down just a little bit more. So we took this trade, came down a little bit, and I was saying we were hanging out, down near these lows here, and I was letting you guys know I do think we could ride it down a little bit more, because not only do we get in on this beautiful bear div, which is likely to play out, but we also had the confirmations of that 3 and 4 hour red dot. Now, guys, this is important. I'm going to go over that one more time, because this is exactly how I was able to call this perfectly. We got in on the bear div, rode it down, hung out down here. Now, you might be thinking, oh no, we're going back up. We're going back up. Close the trade. Panic, close the trade. But you don't want to do that, because when you come to the higher time frames, your money flow is coming down to lower time frames, which is pretty good confirmation, right? And then you come up, you see that 2 hour. Now, again, I don't want people to get confused here. We are talking about the past, not the current price action here. But our 2 hour was looking to print that red dot, and our 3 hour was looking to print this red dot, and our 4 hour was looking to print this red dot, which was going to give us a likely bigger move down to the downside, and that's how we were able to ride it down the rest of the way here. Now, as we were coming down, we are already looking for our next position, which on the way down is typically going to be a long position. Now, as we came down to this key support level at 19,771, that point of control, we know that's a strong level. And this was one of the levels that I was talking about would be likely for us to come down to, right? Because we broke up, and you can see we came down to retest this moving average, but we did not come down and tap the POC. This is kind of what I was looking to see to potentially get into a long position, but we didn't get it, right? So as we're coming down, we catch that little scalp short, and we knew it would be potentially, it was going to be probable for us to come down and actually touch that POC, because we never really touched it. So we got up, shorted it down. We knew it was likely to come down to this level. We have this level set on our chart. We're just sitting back and waiting for price to come to it. We're not getting into premature trades. We're not forcing the trades. We're just waiting for that price to come to our net or our trap, being that key level. And then once we get down there, you look for the confirmations. And this was the trade I took this morning. As we came down, we touched that POC. Now, once I hit that POC, I go back in time. Guys, shout out to Mrs. Candles. She just comes up here periodically during the stream just to open that door and fan that cold air in here, as we do have our ice bag on our camera. Plus 1,000 for Mrs. Candles. Thank you. But we came down to this level, guys, and what do? We go down to the lower time frames. This is the 15-minute, but we come down to our lower time frames. Let's come to the 3-minute and see if we see anything as we come down to this level. So let's go into bar replay mode so I can show you guys exactly what I was looking at, and we could kind of relive this in real time, because I think showing you guys side by side, it's kind of hard to go live and catch these scalp trades live, because if the setups aren't there, they're not there. So I'm going to go ahead and use our bar replay mode here just to kind of give you guys a live action replay. So we're looking at price action. We're in our short, right? We're in our short from that bear div. We're shorting it down. It's going great. But now we're hitting support, so we're getting a little bit worried, right? So we play along. Ooh, blood diamond, bearish retest on that resistance, right? I'm gonna go ahead and play this along so we can just get it to move. And then boom, we get that bearish retest, cannot get above, and then we get that dump down. Shorts doing fine right now. Shorts doing great. You can see those yellow X's flashing. Now, I'm going to bring it back a little bit. Now, we are getting close to our key level, right? This is our level. We have it set. You can consider that our net. You can consider you could consider that our trap, right? We're trying to trap price. We're not trying to chase it. We're letting it come to us so we can then trap it and then put it in a headlock and milk it for every dollar it's worth. So we see, right? Okay, now we're coming down, right? Now we know it's likely that we're coming to that POC. We know the POC acts as a magnet, right? So we know we're coming down to that POC. Now I'm coming down to the lower time frames, right? Say we're looking at the 15-minute. Okay, yellow X, boom, bringing us down here, coming down to the lower time frames. Okay, not seeing any bullish divergences on the 12-minute. Let's go down to the 10-minute. Let's see, what's the 12-minute money flow looking like? Still coming down, right? 10-minute. No bull divs on the 10-minute. Let's go down to the 5-minute. Money flow also kind of coming out on that 10-minute, right? Looking at the 5-minute. Okay, little bull div here. You have your low, your higher low, your low, and your lower low, giving you that bull div. You came up a little bit, but then you print that yellow X and you're coming down lower. Money flow coming out. So let's move time forward here. Boom. Now we confirmed another bull div here with 2 green dots. Now this might not be the worst place to enter. Oh no. Sorry about that, guys. Just went to the wrong, gonna have to come back. Oh God, I don't even know how that happened. Okay. Let's come back to this chart. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and bring it back. So we did print that bullish divergence here on the, I believe it was the 5-minute. Let's move time ahead. Boom. Okay, boom. So you get that bull div with those 2 green dots on Market Cipher being bottom indicators, potential bottom indicators. You get that bull div, you get the lows, the lower lows, and the double green dot with the confirmed bull div. But getting this purple candle to come down lower. It has not hit our level, so we're not taking the trade. Now we're coming down. Boom. Now we hit the level. Could we potentially put another bull div in right here? Let's see. Boom. You get that second double green dot. And then right here, you have your low, your higher low on your Market Cipher B. You could also do this with the RSI, guys. If you don't have Market Cipher B, you can also do this with the RSI. I always try to give you guys a free alternative if you don't have the paid indicators. But then you have your low here and your lower low here. Boom. Beautiful bull div. I might have been saying bear div before. Bull div. You guys know the difference. But yeah, you put in this beautiful bull div. It's printing right now. Let's let it confirm, right? So there you go. It confirms on this candle. You get that next little green candle to the upside. Obviously, depending on your risk tolerance, you could have taken it on this candle or this candle. Let's just go ahead and say we took it on this candle. We'll be conservative. You can put your stop loss, depending on your risk tolerance. Once again, you can set it below this swing low. You could set it below the POC. Wherever you think, you're not likely to pass. You can set your stop loss. That's a topic for another day. I'm not going to get deep into the stop losses. I would probably make my first target here right before this level of resistance. But the main point here, guys, is we waited for price to come down. And then we went to the lower time frames looking for that bullish confirmations, and you have money flow coming up with your bull div on the 5-minute. Let's check the 3-minute. I'm sure you have bull divs on the 3-minute as well. Come on, computer. There you go. Bull divs forming here as well. Again, at your key level of support. Money flow coming up. Let's see if that 1-minute money flow is coming up, crossing over into the green, looking like you could at least get a little bit of a scalp off of this. And then let's see. Let's ride it out. Boom. Boom. So you get your first take profit, again, right before that level of resistance. So that would probably be my first TP, right? Move the stop loss to the entry point. Now take a little bit off the table. Now it's a risk-free trade. And then boom, there you go. And then worst case scenario, you could get stopped out in profit. But that's how we're finding these trades, guys. And that was for a nice little 1% move. And then eventually you came up about 2.5%. And let me see, I don't know if my Femex account, I don't think my Femex account is logged in on this computer, but I am still in this trade. Let me pull it up on the phone for you guys. Was up a little bit more, but there you go. Let's see if you guys, I don't know if you guys can be able to see that. Boom. Well, the light's a little bit I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're up 24%. So nice little scalp trade there, guys, and it's kind of a no-brainer long. That was a no-brainer long. Actually, little news here, guys. It is higher leverage, right? This was a small position size, but I'm actually using 25x leverage because I didn't know how big the move was going to be, right? And I was very confident in this is the POC. I knew there was at least going to be some kind of a bounce off of this, right? So we jacked up the leverage a little bit. I put a little bit less capital in. But you're waiting for price to come down to that key level. You go down to the lower time frames. You find those bullish confirmations, the money flow crossover on the 1 minute, the bull div on the 3 and 5 minute, and the money flow coming up on those lower time frames as well. Boom, you enter the trade, and it comes up just as you suspect. So I'm sorry if that was long-winded, guys, but I just wanted to kind of walk you through that step by step, what I'm looking for when I'm trying to get into these trades. And then I did use a secret strategy to actually try to figure out if I wanted to long or short this morning. And that's probably going to be coming in a video soon. We actually might. Frankie's in otter mode today. Let's go with the 25x leverage. Let's get it. Frankie just showed us his password. No, guys, I am a psychopath about not showing any of my personal stuff online. But yeah, guys, that's 25. Yeah, guys, I don't recommend using high leverage unless you know what you're doing. I have to be very clear about that. Leverage trading can be risky, but if you know what you're doing and you're able to find these key levels by watching and learning from my live streams and my videos on the YouTube channel, or if you're just in that free Discord, I spoon feed you these levels. I spoon feed you some of these trade setups, and you can see them as well. So again, if you guys want to trade on Femex or KuCoin, guys, you can check the links in the description down below if you're looking to catch some of these trades and make money on the way up or the way down, like we did on both of these trades. And again, guys, these were short. These were pretty short trades. But here is the short that we took. Again, my entry here, I believe, was closer to this. Or actually, no, I think it was like up here. But, you get the bearish divergence. You short it on the way down. And then you come down to your, let me just move this so we can see a little better. Then you come down to your next key level. You put in those bull divs, get the lower time frames to confirm a bullish move to the upside. You get in. We jacked up the leverage a little bit, but we're good. We're in profit. I've already taken. I think I've taken profit on this trade. I believe I took a little bit of profit, not too much. But we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna let this ride out. Hopefully we can get some support, come up a little bit higher. If we do get a continued move higher, and guys, give me a hashtag value in chat if you guys learned something from that. I feel like I was kind of all over the place explaining it, but if it helps you to show these trades live and then kind of go back, use bar replay mode, and kind of do a trade recap to show you what was going through my mind and what confirmations I was seeing on what time frames and for what reasons I took the trade. If you are learning something from that, give me a hashtag value in chat so I know that you guys are understanding this and you're finding it useful. Because that is, I like to hold your hand and show you guys exactly what I'm doing because it's nothing that crazy, right? It's not the most insane mathematical equations that I'm using, right? I'm keeping it simple. The reason I'm able to win is by keeping it simple. Obviously, you can use advanced trading strategies at super advanced TA. It's helpful, but I think keeping it simple is a very underrated tactic because if you're able to keep it simple, you're able to. So we going for 21K? Potentially. A lot of resistance. We're going to go over levels right now. But let me know. Give me a hashtag value if you guys found that useful to kind of hold your hand and walk you through these setups and the confirmations I look for to get into these trades. It helps me to know what you guys want to see, what you learn from, and kind of what you don't connect with. Because again, my goal on this YouTube channel is to offer as much value as possible. So if you guys aren't learning on this live stream, I'm not doing my job. But yeah. So give me hashtag Lambo. Hashtag Lambo works too. Frankie, can you check out ALBT? Mr. Digital, shout out to Mr. Digital. Says, going bananas, show us your market site for TA Magic on Albit. Please. Okay, well, if it's actually going bananas, we'll take a look at it. I highlighted the chat. Let's go over some levels. And then shout out to Corbin. I appreciate you, man. Valioi, hey. Hey, Jose, you're in the right place, man. If you want to learn how to trade, you are definitely in the right spot. But Here we go, guys. I want to give you the levels that we're watching for next, and let's just do a little quick TA. I wanted to give you that little trade breakdown or that trade recap, replay kind of thing to give you guys a little bit of sauce. I like to give you guys a little bit of sauce every day, but let's do our typical TA on Bitcoin to try to figure out if we're going to continue to the upside here or we're going to cool off. Now, as you can see here, our daily on Market Cypher, the VWAP is starting to roll over. Again, not indicative of an absolute massive dump, but just indicative of a little bit of a cool off, right? But altogether, your money flow is coming up generally here on Market Cypher B. And I showed this on the morning stream, guys. Your 6-day confirmed the green dot. Actually, don't think I showed this. No, maybe I did. Confirmed green dot on your 6-day. Your 5-day is printing a green dot, and your 3-day and your 2-day, all these higher time frames, the bullish setups are maintaining, right? It's not like this little pullback that we saw today invalidated any of these higher time frames. They are still looking pretty good. Did someone just put emojis of canned sauce? If that is sauce, shout out to Evels. Oh God, I'm gonna butcher that name. Evels Diaz with the sauce emojis. I love that. Val, shout out to Dave Digital. Let's see. Sergeant Gumbo says, smash that like button. Frankie deserves it. Oh, that's right, guys. I did not say smash that like button. Guys, if you enjoyed today's stream with Tom Crown and you learned something from Tom or me at any point during this stream, go ahead and smash that like button. It's the freest and most helpful way for you guys to help grow this YouTube channel. It costs you nothing. It doesn't even really benefit the channel. Like, we don't make money off of likes. But it will help us push this content out to more people, and it will help the channel grow. And it's free for you guys. And actually, the more likes we get, the more spins we get on that wheel of pain and pleasure. So by hitting the like button, you're actually signing up for some free NFTs. So let's go. Shout out to Chat69, guys. We got the scammers in the chat. Don't click any of this stuff. I don't know what these adult dating sites. Come on, guys. Get out of here. But anyway, taking a look here, guys, those higher daily time frames are still looking good, right? That is something I'm watching very closely is the VWAP. And these bullish setups on the higher time frames, looking for them to potentially start slowing down. But as of right now, they are remaining bullish. We'll have to check in on them again tomorrow, see what happens overnight. Your 2-day curved off and is coming straight back up. It still looks pretty decent here. And you do have that bull div on the 2-day as well. Multiple bull divs here on the 2-day and all these higher time frames. And then coming to the daily, looks like you could cool off potentially here, but just a small little cool off, nothing really too alarming. Money flow getting eerily close to a crossover into the green on the 16-hour, but your VWAP coming down. Again, indicative of a little bit of a cool off. 12-hour coming down, but money flow coming to the upside. Doesn't look too bad to me. Now, here you go. Confirmed red dot on your 8-hour, but guys, very similarly to the other day where we had the VWAP flop, where the VWAP kind of comes up and flops over, looks really weak. We're getting the opposite happening on the 8-hour here. We printed and confirmed this red dot, and the VWAP, this is called the VWAP flip, which is the opposite of the VWAP flop, and this thing is coming down, and it gets right back up, and it wants to cross back over to the upside and cross back over and print another green dot. This is actually could look worse, right? If this VWAP is coming straight down, it would be very bearish. Now, granted, this can change at any moment, so take that with a grain of salt, but it is better for it to be curving back up rather than coming straight down. It does look like we could potentially print a green dot here pretty soon, and we will get another 8-hour candle in about a half hour. We'll see if we can get that green dot to print right after the red one, which would be a very bullish sign in my opinion and could bring us to the upside. Now, I do want to come down to the lower time frames real quick. We got that 30-minute money flow crossover into the red, but it's crossing back up here. So typically, when you get that red dot in the 8-hour with the money flow coming down on the 30-minute into the red, typically it gives you a big move to the downside. And we did get some moves to the downside, but now we're curving back up, and that 8-hour green dot or that 8-hour VWAP is looking to come back to the upside. Shout out to Jay Burgess. Says, Frankie, what you're doing is super helpful. That is good to know. So I'm going to keep rocking with it. So money flow. So guys, if that 8-hour flips back around and we print that green dot right after this red dot, and the 15-minute, the 24-minute, and that 30-minute money flow starts crossing back over into the green, that could be the sign for our next leg up if we're going to get it. Now, if we do get that next leg up, guys, I do want, actually, let's go through the rest of these time frames here. 4-hour, looking to print a green dot here at some point very soon. Which this could do something very interesting, right? If we get that green dot, money flow still coming up, guys. This looks pretty healthy to me. So if we get that VWAP to cross back up to the upside, right, and we print that green dot on the 4 hour, money flow's coming up, we could potentially get another move up to one of our other targets. I'm going to draw a random line here before we go over those targets. But maybe we get a move up to about 20,800. That's a level I'm watching. 20,008 is not a secret. I don't know why I'm winking, but we'll get to that part of the stream in a second. But maybe we come up, put a higher high here, potentially come up to about 20,800. And what that will do is potentially give us the possibility for our momentum wave to come up and give us a lower high as price gives us a higher high, creating that bearish divergence. And that's kind of would be my next idea for some trade setups, would be a potential long up to 20,800 before, and then once we get up to that next key level, which would be 20,800, potentially, maybe you get a little wick up to this spider line coming in at almost 21K. You get that higher high, you get the lower low, and that would be a 4 hour bearish divergence. And then that would be a potentially good place to look for some scalp shorts. So just very, very interesting here. If we get that green dot, it could set us up to, get another move to the upside. And then something to watch out for is that lower high on Market Cipher B. Once you start seeing that, you look for your higher highs on price. And then you check those lower time frames. You got the 4 hour bear div. If you got a 4 hour bear div and the lower time frames have the money flow coming out, guys, that could be a very, very good indication for a short position. But we'll have to see what happens. No promises that will happen exactly, but that is something that I'm just kind of keeping my eye on. It may happen, it may not, but it's just one of the scenarios I could see playing out here. Let me change back to the Heikinashi candles, and let's go ahead and let's continue the analysis here. Your 2 hour printing that red dot, so potentially, just looking at this, come up, hit resistance, we've come up. Now we're kind of stuck below this resistance. Could potentially get another move down here in the short term. But again, with the 8 hour looking to flip that VWAP back up, we could potentially see that. Do we have a VWAP flip happening on this too? Let's see, guys. If this is, oh, baby. Yeah, see, this VWAP is coming down, but looking like it wants to curve back up. Indicating to me that the Bears might just not have the strength and the Bulls might be able to overpower here. So watch out for the potential green dot with the immediate, the red dot with the immediate green dot on the next candle could potentially happen here as well on the 2 hour. Could change, but just something to watch, guys. That could indicate that next move up. But if we confirm that red dot and we could potentially get a move down. But again, not the most bearish thing in the world. Money flow is still coming up. Would just be indicative of a slight move to the downside. 1 hour did confirm that green dot, potentially pushing up here. And then those lower time frames, you do have your money flow coming up here. So that is kind of that is the nice thing, right? I'm in this long position. I'm going to hold it. And the reason I'm going to hold it is because that 4 hour, although it does look like it is potentially finding a little bit of resistance and might come back down a little bit, if we print that green dot and that 15-minute money flow, coming up like this, if we could get that crossover into the green and that green dot on the 4 hour, we could get another big juice. If we could hold that trade for another leg up, that would be a saucy trade. So, things potentially, we could continue down a little bit more. But again, that lower time frame, the money flow coming up, look for that 4 hour green dot and that next 8 hour candle. If that next 8 hour candle brings us a new green dot and that 4 hour comes back up and prints that green dot, and that 2 hour with the VWAP flip where it's coming down, where the VWAP is coming down but looking like it wants to swoop right back up, if money flow is also indicative or indicating that could potentially happen not only on the 2 hour but also the 4 hour. That 4 hour money flow is continuing to come up as well, and that 8 hour money flow coming up with that. Oh yeah, ooh, interesting. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, sorry. Anyway. That's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. Looking for that green dot on the 4 hour for potential another move to the upside. Looking at the lower time frames with the money flow. Asia isn't real. Shout out to everybody. Smile. I've never been there, so I can't confirm nor deny. But here's the levels I'm looking at, guys. This is what everybody wants. They want those saucy levels like this one, like this one, like this one that we're able to trade off of. Let's go ahead and we'll give it to you, right? Next immediate level, guys, we do have a POC. Coming in at 20,525. So if we break this gold box, I would expect to get a little bit of resistance there. But if we can hop over that POC, that's where I think our target, right? We come up, maybe we find some support at the bottom of this box, continue up, right? Might be a little turbulent, but we finally come up. If we could pop up and break this POC, flip it to support, this is where I am looking to potentially come up to that $20,800 level. And again, you want to remember, if price action's going crazy, could get some wicks or potentially even get a move up to this spider line coming in eerily close to $21,000. So let's go ahead and pull up our VPVR real quick because I do just want to see if we have any volume gaps. And I think we did look at this yesterday. Let's come to a higher time frame. Let's come to that hourly. Come on, there we go. Okay. So, so if, let's see. Yeah. If we zoom in here, if we go ahead and break this level at about 20,400, the top of this gold box, guys, look at the volume. Big fall off on volume, and that next little peak in volume is somewhere between 20,800, and then you can see this little spike in volume does have some correlation with that spider line. So if we break this gold box, things could get a little bit exciting, and we could get that next little move to the upside, up to that $20,800 area. Between 20,800 and 21K would be the next move to the upside. Now, if we wind up getting those red dot or those green dots not to immediately print right after those red dots and things start to look a little bit more bearish and we lose support, some major levels I'm watching, again, the main level of support is going to be this gold box. We have the point of control at 19,771, and then there is a little bit more support down at about 19,700. So that is the major level I am watching, and then you also do have this spider line down here coming in at about 19,500. I would look, if we do get a big move to the downside or a decent move to the downside, I would look for a potential sweep of this POC or even these levels down here at about 19.5 before potentially coming back up. So those are the levels I'm watching, guys. Again, you want to make sure you're watching these levels because these are where we're catching the trades. Now you guys have the levels. You have exactly what I'm looking for the trades. Again, remember that 4-hour little lower high on your momentum wave. If you get that big move up, that's where you would be looking for shorts. But there you go, guys. That's basically how I'm feeling. Things don't look too bad. Money flow still looks pretty decent. Those higher time frames are still looking pretty good. Nothing is getting, super invalidated here. So yeah, things do look like we could potentially continue to the upside just a little bit here. And I lost, of course, I lost that. I lost that chat of that altcoin that I was going to look at. Where is it? Oh, baby, I think we lost it. If you go ahead and send that coin back in and I see it in the next 2 minutes, we will look at it. But let's see. What time is it? Yeah, we're going to have to wrap it up here, guys. Again, let's go ahead and spin that wheel. I know that coin is going nuts, apparently, but if you want to throw that ticker back in there and I see it, I will throw it back up. But let's see. Chris B says, "What's interesting? I had a feeling I was gonna get some people being like, wait, what did he see?" I honestly don't remember, but the way I said this is interesting, I had a feeling it was gonna raise some eyebrows. Let's see. Oh, it's ALBT. Okay, ALBT. This is gonna be the only one we look at tonight, guys, because obviously we did have our guest Tom Crown on, so we didn't get our full time here for the altcoins. And there you go. It is going nuts. Thank you for not trolling me. Who said that? Chris B, thank you for not trolling me. A lot of people go, "Oh my God, this is pumping. Take a look at it." And I look at it and it's not pumping. But this is indeed pumping. So I appreciate the honesty here. Okay, here we go. Wow. I don't know if this thing got news. I actually don't know. Alliance block. I don't even know what this is. But yeah, money flow crossover on the 4-hour. That looks pretty good. Potential savage bear. I mean, this is not where you want to go long, guys. You do not. Could this thing continue to rip to the upside? Absolutely. Is entering into a long here going to end badly for you 9 out of 10 times? Yes. Could you catch that 1 out of 10 times where you're going to get that next leg up? Sure. But all I'm seeing here is the 4-hour VWAP rolling over, looking to print a red dot here somewhere in the near future, right? You get that first leg up, similar to what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. You get that first leg up, get that second leg up, you start to pull back. This makes your lower high on your momentum waves, giving you that bearish divergence. So potential short opportunities popping up here on the 4-hour for ALBT. And if that confirms, that would be a pretty beautiful 4-hour bear div. And then you would want to come down to your lower time frames. Look at this, 12-minute money flow crossover into the red, 15-minute coming down. might be a decent little short entry here coming up, and also something to look at here, right? Same setup, same thing. Now we don't have our levels set, but if you're looking, let's just look at the 10-minute here. We're just looking at the 10-minute. Let's look at the 15-minute. Screw it. We're looking at the 15-minute, right? I've not looked at this coin. I've never even heard of this coin. I've never seen this coin in my life. But all I see right now, possible resistance right there. We have a little volume spike, right? And then you obviously have a lot of support here with that high volume node. But this means that we're probably going to get some resistance here, which obviously we are starting to get. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a horizontal line here. And then I'm going to also go ahead and delete these drawings. Okay. So yeah, we'll put a horizontal line right on this. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, everybody? I'm kidding. But yeah, let's see. Boom. Okay. So we put a horizontal line here on that higher volume node, not the highest volume node. But we're getting some resistance here, right? So you have a level of resistance that price is coming into, right? And you have a high here and a massively higher high here. Now you come down to your momentum waves, and what do we see? We see a high on your momentum wave and a lower high on your momentum wave, right? So you have your diagonal line down like this, right? And then you have your diagonal line up, massive bearish divergence. This could have been a good way for you to get into this trade to potentially short this thing down. And as you can see here, you've come down, you've broken. Oh no, my ice bag just fell off my camera, guys. But you lose this level, you come down, bearish retest, and now you're starting to come down again. And here you go. You are sitting on this level right here, which is quite dangerous, guys, because if you lose this level, kind of looks like you could get a massive dump down back to these levels. That was kind of a horrible drawing there. But you could see you have a massive volume gap right here. So if we break this level right here at about 0.061 cents, you could potentially get a quick move down. My first place I would look is about 0.057 cents. Could be a quick move down to there. If you lose that level, probably coming down to about 0.056 cents. And even potentially down to about 0.054 cents. And who knows, depending on how quick it comes down, you could just get that quick move down all the way to that high volume node down here, or potentially down to this POC, which is coming in at about 0.052 cents. And that is your point of control. So this is basically what I'm seeing here, guys. I'm not really going to look too much more into this. This is what I would, if I was looking to trade this, I would be looking for that 4-hour bear div. Now, if I was looking at this on the lower time frames, I probably would have taken this 15-minute short. I would have taken this short on the 15-minute based off this bearish divergence. But I obviously did not get into that trade because I just looked at this for the first time ever. But yeah, I'd be like, oh man, that would have been a nice trade. But instead, because I missed it, I'd come up to the higher time frames and be like, well, now I'm looking at the 4-hour and I'm going, hey, high, higher high. This could wind up being a lower high, and now that's how you develop a plan for your trade, right? It has not happened yet, but we're trying to predict what is going to happen, and if we see the confirmations we're looking for, that's when you take it, and you could potentially, if you take that 4-hour bear trade off that, a short off that 4-hour bear div, that could potentially play out in a big way. But obviously, when that happens, you're going to have new information on the charts. So if you get that red dot, don't just take it automatically. You're still going to want to go to the lower time frames, find your confirmations, and make sure it's a good trade. But right now, that's what I would be looking for, a bear div on the 4-hour. So, Chris B, I hope that helps you out, man. Shout out to Dragon Modded. What is going on? Look at that gap. Dragon Modded loves those gaps, baby. Let's get it. But, guys, I think that's all that time I got for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. I do appreciate it. But, hey, don't leave just yet. We got to spin that wheel of pain and pleasure. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. Hopefully you guys got, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes, guys, I get off the stream and I go, we all have good days and bad days. Sometimes I get off the stream and I'm like, oh, man, I feel like I didn't give enough sauce on that stream, which is hard. We come on this stream every single weekday, 5 days a week. We very rarely miss a stream, and it's hard to come with the value every single day. I try my hardest, but sometimes you get off and I'm like, it wasn't the best one. Get him next time, champ. But I feel like tonight you guys got a lot of sauce between Tom Crown, that little trade recap that I brought you guys through, showing you guys how I was able to get into that scalp trade, and then showing you that little juice, trying to find those trading plans on that ALBT coin. Hopefully that was able to provide you guys some value. Why did I say gala? Shout out to the Candle Mafia, guys. Go ahead and smash that like button if you guys found this valuable. 391 likes. I think we got 1,000 likes last time Tom was on. I don't know what's going on. Hashtag bear market. But smash that like button if you guys have not already. We got 4 spins unless we hit... Oh, no, we got 3 spins until we hit 400 likes. If we hit 400 likes, by the time we finish spinning the wheel, we will go ahead and spin it 4 times. Give them a giveaway. First giveaway of the night, baby. Let's go. Let's see. You had Tom Crown, bro. An amazing stream. Don't doubt that your content is straight value, brother. There's always more sauce. Let's go. We just got to thaw it out. It's in the freezer, guys. I'll pull some out tonight so I can bring it out tomorrow for you. Give them 2 giveaways. Oh, 399 likes, guys. Let's go. I think we're going to get it. Hey, shout out to Matthew Barnes. He says, it's cone. I love cone. I mean, look at this thing. Can't imagine a more beautiful thing. Let's see. Mr. Digital said, I would never lie to you, Frankie. ALBT, it's DeFi for institutions. Check it out. Very interesting. Well, it's definitely got one heck of a pump on it, Mr. Digital. That is for sure. But yeah, I will definitely look into that. Let's see. Oh, 405. I'll give you guys a 5th spin for that 405. Let's get it, baby. What do we get? 331 people still in here. I do appreciate you guys so much for being here. Oh, no, we got 2 giveaways. Give him another one. Nope. 2 giveaways. Not too bad. Kind of got rugged there. Pick winners from Friday's missed giveaway. Pick winners from Friday's missed giveaways. Right now? Tony, you're saying pick it right now? Let's see. I'm going to let Tony elaborate on that. Let's see. At some point, check the Discord DM I sent you. Probably too late now, but that was one of the characters' ideas I had for the NFT collection. Oh, interesting. Chemistry, bro, I have to check that out. Did you send me art? That's exciting. If you did, I'm excited to see that. Frankie has sauce jars stacked in the freezer like most serial killers. Oh, God. Shout out to Crypto Sub Method. What is going on, brother? Yeah. I don't know if he's telling me to pick the winners from Fridays today. We'll probably pick up. Oh, here. I was more so asking, we never picked winners from Friday's missed stream unless you want to draw 100 giveaways this Friday. Ooh, okay, yeah, we'll do that. Maybe we'll do it. Don't rug pull us, Frankie. Matthew, the only way I will ever rig something on this channel is rigging it in the favor of you guys. I will rug pull myself before I ever let anybody try to pull one over on you guys. Shout out to Matthew Barnes. But yeah, guys, we did miss a giveaway last week because we actually did not stream on Friday, unfortunately. But we will pick those winners. Thank you for pointing that out, Tony. Let's remind me tomorrow. We're going to pick, we'll pick half of the NFT winners on tomorrow, and then we'll pick the rest on Friday. Otherwise, we're literally going to pick 100 people, and it's going to take forever. So we're going to split it up. We'll break it up somehow, but thank you for pointing that out. Put that on the list. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow. But shout out to the Candle Mafia. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Ending the stream with 411 likes. Not too bad. 320 people still in here. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys. That's all the time I got for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Watch that 4-hour bear div on the BTC charts. I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.